You can have the best strategy, the perfect offer, the best services, the highest work ethic. But if your nervous system is dysregulated, you are going to continuously sabotage your business. And let me explain what I mean by that. When I say dysregulated nervous system, I'm talking about when your body is stuck in fight or flight, when you're constantly stressed, when you are overwhelmed, when you're anxious, when you are operating from a place of fear. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Your nervous system dictates how you show up in business. It is your most important business asset, even though most people don't realize it. So let's talk about self-sabotage and what this may look like in your business. For example, say you get a really big opportunity and instead of being excited, you feel panicked, you feel anxious. So you procrastinate, you blow it, you talk yourself out of it. If you're about to hit a new income level and suddenly then you get busy with admin tasks, things that aren't important, instead of the work that would actually move the needle in your business. If you know you should raise your prices, but you feel tight in your chest, just thinking about it. So you stay undercharging, you're not raising them. If you want to hire help, but the thought of letting go of control makes you feel like you can't breathe. Your nervous system might be seeing success as a threat because more money might equal more visibility, more danger in your subconscious mind. So even though you consciously want to grow, your body is fighting you every step of the way. And then you end up in this exhausting cycle where you're working harder, but you're not making more money because your nervous system is protecting you. It thinks it's doing the right thing by keeping you safe, by putting on like the emergency brake right before you have a breakthrough. And this is why you can have all the strategy in the world, but if your body does not feel safe with success, you are going to be stuck. So let's talk about your nervous system, and let's put this in really basic layman's terms. Your nervous system has control over your entire body. It is acting as the communication system from your brain and your spinal cord out to your whole body, and it runs through every single cell of your body. And it has two main modes: sympathetic, which is fight or flight, or parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. And I'm going to assume that you have heard of fight or flight or rest and digest. Most of us have. And here's why this matters. When you are dysregulated, when you are in fight or flight, you are anxious, you're burnt out, you may make fear-based decisions. You may keep yourself small. You may people please. You may be hustling. You may be in scarcity. And when you're regulated in rest and digest, then you're able to make aligned decisions. You trust yourself. You hold boundaries with people. You attract money. You are in an abundant state. So in order to understand our nervous system, we have to rewind and look at evolution. So our nervous systems are still running on caveman tendencies. Thousands of years ago, our survival depended on our alertness to physical threats, on things like being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, for example. And in those moments, fight or flight was literally life or death. And so that's how your body operates, because your brain evolved to scan for danger all the time. And when it detected a threat, it would flood your body with stress hormones, shut down all the non-essential functions, and focus every ounce of energy on keeping you alive. And that worked really well when the threats were physical and they were temporary. But here's the issue now. Our primitive brain cannot tell the difference between being chased by a lion and a challenging client, between being attacked by a predator and being visible on Instagram, between actual physical danger and the risk of financial success. So when you're about to, for example, pitch a high-ticket client in your business, your brain thinks, oh no, we're being hunted. When you consider raising your prices, your nervous system is like, oh no, danger. And you're getting an opportunity, but your body thinks this is a threat. Your amygdala, which is like the alarm system in your brain, does not care that you're a successful entrepreneur in 2026. It's trying to keep you safe from threats that just don't even exist anymore. And the biggest perceived threats are usually standing out, being seen, things that are different than what we're used to, like making more money, taking up more space. Because back in the day, if you stood out, it was dangerous for your survival. So your nervous system thinks that being visible is being vulnerable and therefore dangerous. It thinks that success is visibility and that's death. And this is why your body fights you when you're trying to level up, when you're trying to grow your business, when you're trying to make more money. Your body doesn't think it's self-sabotage. It thinks it's self-preservation, but it really is sabotage because it's keeping you from what you desire. So let's relate this to your money. So when you are in fight or flight, your body thinks you're in danger. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing gets shallow, cortisol floods through your body, and you are in the survival mode. When you're in this mode, your brain cannot access anything creative. It's not when you do your best thinking, your best work. It is not the state where you can grow your business. Your body is going to literally try and keep you safe. And while your body thinks keeping you safe might be not putting yourself out there, keeping yourself small, that's actually holding you back from your goals, for your dreams, because your body doesn't understand that it's 2026 and there are no lions. It's not about fitting in, things like that. So on the contrary, when you're in rest and digest, your nervous system, it feels safe. Your heart rate is steady, your breathing is deep, your mind is totally clear. And this is where you can innovate. This is where you're creative. This is where you can do your best work. This is where making bold decision feels comfortable. It's where you can receive the success you actually desire. And most high achievers tend to get stuck in this chronic fight or flight, in this sympathetic activation, because they're addicted to the adrenaline. They're addicted to the cortisol. Cortisol is highly addictive. And your body, your nervous system has learned that stress is productivity, is safety. But we can't build wealth from that state, not in a sustainable manner. Because when our body feels unsafe, it's going to sabotage us because it thinks it's protecting us. Things that feel too big or too good to be true, they're going to shut down. Because to your body, staying small is always better than taking a risk, risking failure, judgment, rejection. And those things where we put ourselves out there and risk those things are usually how we grow. It's how we expand ourselves, not just in business, but in life. We learn from our edges, from being uncomfortable. And this is why you can know exactly what to do, but your body's not letting you do it. So as high achievers, if we want to be successful, we need to get into the rest and digest. We need to stop the always on, the always doing, and build from a regulated state, because regulation is safety. And when your body feels safe, it can receive, you can expand, you can grow, you can make more money, you can accomplish your goals, you can scale your business, whatever it is accessible to you. And so often what I find when I am coaching clients is that when they feel these emotions that they know don't logically make sense, they don't allow themselves to feel them. So say you're putting yourself out there, you're going to be speaking, you're going to be pitching someone, you're raising your prices, whatever it may be, it makes you physically uncomfortable and you feel anxious. Well, logically, you know that that doesn't make any sense. You want this. You want what doing this thing, what speaking, what raising your prices is going to give you, so you ignore it. But here's the thing. We cannot just gloss over our emotions. We can, but when we don't process them, they never go away. They stay stuck. So what we need to learn to do is actually feel our feelings, feel our emotions, even when they're uncomfortable, especially when they're uncomfortable, because that allows us to process them. If we continuously bypass negative emotions, we can't get to the other side. You may be able to temporarily feel better, but that emotion is going to keep coming up again and again, and it's stuck in your body. And here's the thing about feeling feelings that are hard. The anxiety of feeling them is so much worse than actually feeling them. So have you ever avoided an emotion for so long and then you finally are faced with it and you realize it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be? That is totally common because the anxiety, the fear, oh gosh, I don't want to sit with this emotion, just doesn't go away when we don't feel the emotion. But here's the thing, when you allow yourself to feel the emotion, emotions change. They're not constant. For better or for worse, whether you're happy or you're sad, it is not sustainable. you are going to change emotions. And yes, when we do thought work, we are always practicing trying to keep those feelings that we want, that we desire. And also, you are a human being. You are going to have emotions. They are going to change. So if there's an emotion you've been avoiding, sadness, anger, if you actually just sit in it and feel it, you will notice that it passes. And it usually passes within minutes. But if you keep avoiding it, then the fear of feeling that is in your body at all times, which is so much worse. And of course, this is in direct proportion to the emotion that we're feeling. So there are very big emotions, things like grief, that unfortunately do not move through us in minutes. But when we're talking about things in our business, like putting ourselves out there, they're usually small and they usually pass faster than we would imagine. So I want you to try that because this is something I do with my clients often. And when I have them just sit in the feeling that they are avoiding, it usually passes even for clients who are the most stuck in 5 minutes or under, rather than all the anxiety and dysregulation that they're carrying around for days, weeks, months, sometimes even years. So here are some signs that your nervous system is dysregulated because so often we're so used to being in dysregulation, we don't even notice it. You may feel anxious when things are seemingly going well. You may feel guilty when you go to rest. You may be overthinking everything, all the decisions in your business. You may be really tired or exhausted, but then you can't sleep. And it may show up as self-sabotage. Every time you're going to have a big breakthrough, a win, hit a certain milestone in your business or financial goal, there's a self-sabotage. If that is familiar to you, that's a sign that you're dysregulated and your body's just trying to protect you. But we need to update the programming so it knows that you are safe and stops trying to protect you so that it can calm down and you can be regulated so that you can function more calmly, more clearly, and without all the cortisol running through your body. So the first thing to do to get our body on board is feeling those emotions, like I mentioned. Once we feel them, they move through our body. The next part is completing the stress cycle. So whenever anything stressful happens to us, there is a cycle in our body of stress, and we need to close the stress cycle. So for example, if you get that fight or flight in a conflict with one of your employees and you don't process it, those emotions, those chemicals are stored in your body. And you have to complete the full cycle of stress for them to release. And this is a very simple way of putting this, but if you want to read in depth about this topic, The Body Keeps the Score is an excellent read. Also, it's a lot. It's not an easy read, but it has a lot of great information on this. But the takeaway is this, that you need to close the stress cycle. So how do you do that? First, you feel the feelings, and then you regulate your nervous system. And regulating your nervous system can look like a lot of different things. So some of my favorite ways to regulate your nervous system to complete the stress cycle so that we can get back to a calm state are breathing exercises. There's so many good ones. One of my favorites is box breathing because it's so simple. You hold for a count of 4, then you breathe in for a count of 4, then you hold that for a count of 4, then you breathe out for a count of 4. So you're repeating breath in the shape of a box. I will link a video on box breathing in the show notes. Then there's movement. And movement is hands down my favorite way to close the stress cycle. It's like when you are stressed out and you go for a run or a walk and you feel better after. It's from the movement. And that could be simple things like just shaking at your desk when you're stressed out, just literally shaking and moving the energy. Or it can be going for a high intensity workout, which is really good because high intensity really gets our heart rate up. It gets our body moving and it processes things quickly. So if you have a high stress job, you may notice that many people who are very successful in high stress jobs are athletic. They work out a lot. They do high aerobic, high intensity activity. And that's why it really helps them process that stress. There's also exercise that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, like mind-body exercises that are also very good. So things like Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, Things that connect us and slow us down, they put us in our body, they put us in our breath, and they put us in the present moment. One that you can do anywhere, even like while you're lying awake in the middle of the night when you're stressed out and you can't sleep, is progressive muscle relaxation. And it's tightening all the muscles in your body and then relaxing them. This is such a good tool for moving that stress through our body. And then another one of my favorites is EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique. And what that is it's tapping on different meridian points in the body to change our thoughts, to move the energy, to reprogram our energy cycles in our body. I have a free tapping video that moves you from scarcity to abundance that I'll link in the show notes. Tapping is a great tool for moving energy through your body. So these things that physically move energy and stress are excellent, especially when you pair them with other tools. So the other important tool that you need to know about is mindset, right? Controlling your thoughts, deciding what you think on purpose. It can also be affirmations. Affirmations are so good for our mindset. It is telling yourself something in the present. So I am safe. I am supported. Just telling your body, I'm okay, can actually get your body to realize, oh, this is true. I'm okay. And that's why tapping is one of my favorite techniques, because you combine affirmations with the physical moving the energy through the meridians in your body. There's also visualization. It can really help your mindset because it helps you just visualize things being okay, yourself being safe, you having the success you desire. I'm sure you've heard of successful athletes who pictured themselves doing something before they actually did it. It gets their mind on board with their body. And then there's just basic lifestyle tools that you can use, like setting boundaries, saying no to things that you don't want to be doing, that don't serve you, resting when you need it, right? Taking care of your body, taking a nap, slowing down, giving yourself the okay to just take a break during the middle of the day, resting your eyes at lunch, whatever it may be. And then there's finding joy, finding things that give you pleasure, whether that is connection, whether that is movement, whether that is calling a friend you love, going out for tea with a friend, a wine with a friend, whatever fills up your cup. And lastly, if you are in fight or flight, one of the most important things you can do is take care of your body. So ask yourself, if your nervous system feels dysregulated, are you eating well? Are you eating good quality food and regularly? Because often when we're stressed, we're not. Are you getting outside every day? And if it's winter and it's dark and you live somewhere that can be cloudy, like where I live in Seattle, you can get a light. And that will really help you in those dark months where the sun is not as bright. But just getting outside, breathing fresh air, allowing yourself to be outside without headphones, just allowing yourself to take in nature, allowing your eyes to move around and see things can be therapeutic for your body. And then sleeping. Are you getting all the sleep you need? And this is just a friendly reminder that the sleep studies that say we need 7 to 8 hours have been done on men. Women need more sleep than men. And if you're going through a tough time, if you're burnt out, if there's a lot going on and you feel dysregulated, you probably need more sleep than you do normally. And then when it comes to taking care of your body, what are you putting in your body besides food? Are you drinking too much caffeine? So often when we're stressed out, when we've got a big project coming up, whatever it may be, we start drinking a lot of caffeine for energy, but that makes us feel worse. It makes it so we can't sleep. It makes us feel anxious. It heightens our emotional state. And it's usually those emotions that don't feel good, that we don't want to be feeling. So just notice your consumption. Same thing with alcohol, right? Alcohol is a depressant. So if you're going through a rough time, maybe you might think logically it would be great to go have a glass of wine with a friend, but that may not be what's good for your body. Maybe you need to go out and have a mocktail with your friend because the alcohol is actually going to dysregulate you further. And you'll just learn this by experimentation, right? By doing things and noticing if they make you feel better or worse. So often when we are dysregulated, we're not even slowing down and paying attention. And just paying attention can make the big difference. Taking care of your nervous system is a must if you want to grow your business, because you can grow your business from a dysregulated state, but you won't be able to maintain it. And it's not going to feel good, obviously, right? You want to build a business that feels good, that feels aligned, that is serving you in the way that you crave, in the way that you desire. And if you do that from a state that's unregulated, it's going to cause burnout at some point. And so right now, let's just do a little regulation together. You can put your hand on your heart, hand on your belly, whatever feels comfortable to you. Close your eyes if you're somewhere where you can close your eyes. If not, maybe soften your gaze. And just take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. Beautiful. 2 more. Big breath in, big breath out. And last one, inhale and exhale. Good. And just say to yourself, I am safe. I am supported. I am enough. And just feel your body soften as you do that. Beautiful. I want you to pick just one practice. Maybe it's movement, maybe it is box breathing, and just do it daily for a week and notice what shifts in your body. Notice how you feel different and how you're able to show up differently as a result in your business and in your life. And if this resonated with you, please share it with someone who could find this useful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next Thursday. Until then, happy manifesting. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you're still here, I know you're serious about quantum leaping your income, and that commitment is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Here's what I want you to do next. Pick one insight from today and take action on it. Because here's the thing, transformation happens in the implementation, not just the inspiration. If this episode shifted something for you, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. It helps other ambitious, heart-centered women find the show. And if you're ready to take this work deeper and finally break through that income plateau, I'd love to invite you to book a discovery call with me. Because here's the thing, podcasts give you the what, but coaching gives you the how. It's what takes you from, I know what I should be doing, to, holy shit, I actually did it. Head to the show notes or to jillianminter.com to grab your spot on my calendar. Until next week, keep choosing abundance over scarcity, alignment over hustle, and remember, you're meant for more. You just have to believe it's yours.